Hey y'all, real quick, I wanted to add some more on top of the video that I just made. I want to add a little bit more on top of that. There's one thing that I did forget. As far as motivation, and I think I've mentioned this before, there is no motivation to what Nick Cruz did. Like, for example, in his video rant that he did, he's talking about he hates everybody, he hates everyone and stuff. You can imagine, all right, like a person who feels this way, hates everyone, hates everybody. It might have a lot to do with Dana, who we've been told he likes a whole lot or he's obsessed with or whatever. He doesn't bring her up. He actually brings up someone named Angie, and nobody to this point knows who the hell Angie is. All right, but he hates everybody. He hates everyone. Why does it make sense? It's Valentine's Day. I want you to picture this. Why does it make sense? You're torn up about who people thought was Dana. You obviously weren't torn up by Dana because you did not seek her out to shoot her or anybody who knew her. You weren't torn up about Angie necessarily because nobody who you shot that day was named Angie. So you weren't so much torn up about that or anything like that. You do profess your undying love for Angie, which means that you probably don't want to do her any harm and stuff. But you hate everybody, you hate everyone. You go to the high school and you immediately just almost what it seems random. You go to the freshman building. Right, you're 19 years old. Tell me whether this makes sense. You're 19 years old. You go to the freshman building. Chances are you've been bullied. That's the thing. People keep talking about how much you were bullied and how come you're kind of an outcast in school, stuff like this, right? So if you were bullied, you'd probably go ahead and go directly for the people who were bullying you. All right. So, i.e., you wouldn't go to the freshman building because chances are you do not know that many freshmen. Right? People bullying you are around your age. All right. So you see how none of it even close to makes sense. Right? The motivation's not there. He's about to get trust fund money and stuff like this. He really doesn't have a terrible time. I mean, he might be an outcast. A lot of people are. A lot of people are. When we're talking about millions across the nation. So all that I wanted to bring that up because motivation wise, none of it makes sense. Eyewitness speaking wise, there is no such eyewitness. Evidence wise, that's all secret. They don't want to tell you about that at all. Is the sheriff's office completely incompetent? On its face, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it is telling all sort of paramedics and other people to stay away. And there's nothing to see here. Don't you come in here. Don't you even look at what's going on in here. Meanwhile, protocol with dead bodies and all sort of things and how they're to be left alone and inspected and investigated. That was all. I mean, everything was done wrong, right? So none of it adds up. Well, with that being said, I thought we'd sit here and just discuss hypotheticals. Now, we don't know what happened at all, not even in the slightest. But since none of it adds up, well, shoot, we might as well speculate. What could have happened? What's possible that could have happened? Now, we already know that that particular school, they were undergoing some sort of drills. You understand how like before anything bad happens, drills of the same exact situation are going to be had prior to the bad thing happening. All right, and I'm not saying that that's calculated or anything. It just so happens that bad things happen in places after there's drills. So if you're in a place where they're having a drill about something, then you leave that place and you probably don't ever come back because something bad is going to happen there a week later or something like this. So they're having a drill, all right, and the times get kind of messed up. The alleged shooting happened towards the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, closer to the end of the day. They had a drill. It was purported that they had a drill earlier in that morning or the week prior. There was certain sort of confusion going on. All right, all the people speaking out about this situation, the thousands of people from that school, nobody speaking out except for six kids who won't shut the hell up about taking away everyone's guns. Meanwhile, there's still people going to that very school with knives in their bag, guns in the bag and stuff, man. It's just there, right? It is just there. But I wanted to really dwell upon the fact that most of these kids who are speaking out, who are justice warriors against everybody's guns, right? They're in the drama club. I don't think about it now. I don't know that any of this is true, but can you imagine a situation where authorities from certain agencies come? They say, "Hey, drama club, you want to be a part of something revolutionary? Y'all are kids. Y'all are trying to change the future for the better. You're doing so good. You're such bright, shining examples. You know what? Y'all should be famous and stuff. Y'all, y'all can go as the sky's the limit. You guys are in the drama club, right? So we're having some drills for everybody's safety, you guys. We just want to take you aside, talk to you about this real quick. We're running drills. I know your dad's part of the FBI, Mr. Hogg. Your mom's working CNN. It's gonna work out perfect. See, we're running drills. We're running drills. You see, we need you to be actors and stuff like that. We need you to have friends and to pretend that they're dead, right? Because we've had these sort of drills all across the nation before, in which people like pretend to be dead, like maybe it's drunk driving car accident simulations and stuff. You take it around the school, all right? All sort of different schools in the nation, right? You've seen it before. We pretend like your friends are dead. Remember? Remember those fun times when we pretended like your friends were dead and that they were drunk driving just to convince you not to drunk drive? Now, we're going to need you to participate in this drill. We're having drills. Some of your friends are going to look shot up, all right, in the drills, and we're going to realize how bad guns are for everybody, all right? So they run their drill, they do their little thing, and then later, actually later, that's when that shooting takes place. Meanwhile, I don't know. I mean, can you imagine somebody, I was hypothetically, we don't know that any of this happened, but taking Nick Cruz aside and saying, "Hey, look, we're about to run a drill. We're running these drills to keep everybody safe. We know you're a good kid. We know that you're trying to do your best and stuff like this, but we've been trying to run a drill, and we need a shooter. We need an active shooter. We need somebody to play that role. All right, who's a good person to play that role? Maybe a quiet person like yourself, Nicholas. Why don't you go ahead and play that role? Get everything together and stuff. You meet us here, and we're gonna play out a drill in which we do a drill of a shooter and stuff. Man, you're gonna be the shooter. Everybody's gonna see, oh, that it's you, and then we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna solve it. We're gonna know how to interact with shooters and things of this nature. So they call up Nate Cruz. They have him come at a certain time. This is after they ran a drill. This is after people are all confused and they don't know what's going on, this and that. People pull the fire alarms. All right, so they're running another, what seems to be the second drill that day. All right, and where Nick Cruz, he was picked to be the active shooter in a drill, but it turns out this drill ain't exactly it's not fake. All right, people are actually getting shot. All right, people are actually getting shot. Meanwhile, you have the drama club, and they're thinking it's a drill. They were convinced it was a drill, anyways. They were convinced it was a drill. They were convinced to say, even before anybody saw anybody, they were convinced to say, while they were in a closet hiding, oh, it was Nick Cruz. It must have been Nick Cruz. Oh, because this is part of our drill. And that's what we're supposed to say. All right. Meanwhile, all sort of shooting is going on inside the school. Nobody knows who's doing it. They're assuming that this little secret drill that they're playing, where they got secret actors playing it out. All right. They think this is what's going on. Might be why Scott Peterson didn't exactly go in. Perhaps he was very confused. Maybe he was told something different. We don't know what he was hearing on his walkie-talkie and things of this nature. We don't know what people were saying to other people. We do know that paramedics were being told to stand down. All right, so can you imagine a situation where it's like, okay, everybody, we're going to play out this drill, but the drill goes live. All right, so I don't know who shot up who. I don't know if Nick Cruz ever had a gun in his hand. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. This hypothetical situation that we're putting out really isn't that far-fetched. It's not that hard to pull off if you know the right type of people, if you got a wind-up toy like Nick Cruz potentially could have been. Really wouldn't be that hard. You'd think, well, okay, You had the drama club participating in this drill. They called out Nick Cruz for being guilty. After the fact, they were told, okay, Nick Cruz, you know what? I know we're running a drill, you guys, but why don't you shut the hell up about that? Because it actually went live and Nick Cruz actually did wind up shooting people. Now, if you say you were playing a drill and this is all a pretend make believe, then you're going to seem guilty. You know what? You better just stay on this Nick Cruz's guilty stuff because he actually did do it this time. All right, see that you just take these kids aside and say, look, we were having a drill. I don't know what happened, but Nick Cruz started shooting up everybody. You really do need to have to. You really got to go after the guns now. I mean, you got to be spokespeople for the future now. All right, don't you even worry about these drills that we were talking about where we were setting things up. Don't even worry about the fact that you never saw Nick Cruz shooting anybody. Don't even worry about all the evidence that you're not going to be able to see. Just keep harping on people need to lose their guns, and don't you even worry about that surveillance footage from the high schools that'll show you everything. Don't you even worry about those body cams and stuff that people keep documented on emergency workers. Don't you even worry about none of that. All right? Nothing to see here. That's basically what we're hypothetically looking at. I can't say that that's what we're looking at, but I can say that there's no evidence that corroborates anything that resembles the actual official story. And that's where we're at right now. It's June 1st, 2018. And I appreciate all y'all out there. And I appreciate y'all's patience. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.